we have a new third timeline emerging on this planet. In this video, I'm going to show you what it is and how you can shift to that even higher timeline than the one we've already been on. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean. In this video, I want to introduce you to a third and very important timeline that is beginning to emerge on this planet. Now, up until now, there have been two pretty dominant timelines. So this represents where we are at the beginning of our ascension or accelerated ascension process. And this represents the lower timeline of a potential AI takeover of our consciousness, which is what we hopefully want to avoid. And then we have this higher timeline, which represents waking up to natural organic ascension. And this is the one that we are all working to hopefully see happen for as many people as possible. So this is basically the ascension timeline split that we've been talking about so often over the past few years. But now a third one is emerging, and that is the timeline of consciously entering the extraterrestrial universe. So let me show you how this works and why it is so important to the overall evolution and ascension of our planet. So here we have a third timeline emerging from this higher timeline, which we will call entering the natural extraterrestrial universe. And the cool thing is that these two timelines are actually connected. So this higher timeline that branches off from this main waking up natural organic ascension timeline actually lifts this timeline to a higher frequency and a higher vibrational level. So what happens with this higher timeline is it actually energizes this main timeline toward natural organic ascension because it lifts its frequency, it raises its vibration. So this higher timeline of the entering into the natural extraterrestrial universe actually represents an expansion of consciousness of this one. So this is an expansion of consciousness. So what we now have is we have more energy on these higher timelines, which is really awesome. Now let me show you the cool thing that this does when it comes to that lower AI timeline. And this is the really exciting part of this whole scenario. So because we've increased the energy up here with these two, it actually serves to weaken this AI timeline. Because when we enter this natural extraterrestrial universe, that is such a powerful expansion of consciousness when we enter this space that even if all of us don't go there, we're actually making it easier for that main ascension timeline for more people to be on that timeline because we're weakening that nefarious AI timeline where AI basically takes over our species. So when you have all this extra energy up here, this lower timeline gets much weaker. This one just gets weaker, weaker, weaker. So the more we stay up here, the more those of us who can go to this higher one can get there. This one weakens and it actually frees more people to go to a higher timeline, which is really awesome. See, timelines are not necessarily as rigid and closed as it might sound when we talk about them. There's actually so many different nuances and so many different possibilities, and a timeline can have many, many, many layers, and each individual human being has their own unique experience of any given timeline. So when we talk about the two main ascension timelines, we're just talking about the dominant timelines, and then on each one of those individuals, different human beings might have variations of that experience depending on where they are in their consciousness. See, here's what's so interesting about how the controllers came up with this thing that I talked about in my last video, how we're going to have this disclosure, this official disclosure. Actually, what they did unwittingly is they open the door for those of us who are awake and aware and understand what they're really up to. They open the door for us to actually consciously enter into that higher timeline of the natural extraterrestrial universe, which, as I was saying before in my last video, is comprised of, or it's really about understanding the real purpose of stars and planets and why they exist. So you have trillions of galaxies in this one universe, and each one is filled with an untold number of stars and solar systems and planets, etc., right? So why does all that stuff exist? It exists because the star and its surrounding planets are there to host life and creation. It is such a beautiful thing. I mean, it's so beyond amazing. And it's nothing like the stuff that we are told by, the so-called official voices of the military and, their silly little videos of their little tic-tac thing. And like, we're supposed to get all excited about that? Really? I mean, if you think about the immense beauty and magnitude of what I will call the natural extraterrestrial universe, which is aligned with the actual purpose of stars and planets, the little tic-tac videos and the little triangles and, that green weird video with the green triangles, that just looks like, what? Why should we care about that? So what they actually accomplished with this fake disclosure, I'll call it a fake disclosure, and this is why staying ahead of them is such a great idea, you guys. What they actually accomplished was waking us up even more and saying, oh, okay, I think you all, by bringing this into the public discussion, you've probably actually opened a whole lot of people's minds to the idea of an extraterrestrial universe full of life. So then we, who are the starseeds, the light workers, the way showers, the awakening humans on this planet, those of us who understand what is going on, we can then say, you know what, we're not really all that interested in your silly little tic-tac videos and your little green triangle videos and all those, those black and white grainy things that you're always showing us. We're just not interested in that. But thank you for opening the door to this topic. Thank you for opening the public's mind to this topic. So now, those of us who are truly awake, we can set our consciousness that, okay, we are now going to determine our destiny. And in fact, this goes beyond being a galactic citizen, because I know I've talked a lot about that lately, but this goes well beyond being merely a galactic citizen. This is about being a resident in this universe, in understanding the basic nature of the universe and why these stars and planets exist, and that we live in a beautiful sea of creation of life, and we are a part of that amazing expanse of galactic, intergalactic, cosmic life and species that is just so much beauty and just amazement. We're a part of that. So our role is to expand our consciousness, because see, we're already on that higher timeline, all right? If we're awake and we are here with a purpose, we're here with a mission, we're here to support this planet's ascension and the ascension of the people on this planet, then we're already on that higher timeline. That's not even a question. So now, for those of us who really understand the extraterrestrial universe, we can now even raise that higher timeline. We can add energy to it. See, so much of this has to do with what's in your mind. And the way to understand this is to recognize that we are creators by nature. That is who we are. That is why we're so powerful as human beings. That's why we are such powerful contributors to the ascension of whatever planet we happen to be working on. Because when you realize this, you realize that you do not have to subjugate your consciousness to the stupid realities that the controllers keep trying to inject into our subconscious mind. And you understand why they're doing that. They're doing that because they have no power to create realities on their own. They are powerless to create their own reality. They can only use manipulation, lying, and control to get other creators who have the power to create realities, such as ourselves as human beings on this earth. They can only use our consciousness, this is so weird, right? To produce whatever weird reality they are unable to create by themselves. And when you understand this, you will stop feeling intimidated by them. Because see, that feeling of being intimidated, like, oh, they have us all locked down and controlled, they can only do that to the extent that they control our minds. Overall, this is why I'm always saying we have to go to our hearts, connecting with your heart. Your heart is the portal to truth. Your heart is the portal to the truth about how this universe is actually created, designed, made. And when you are aligned with your heart, you have power that far surpasses anything these controllers pretend to have. Because what you've got to understand is the controllers are borrowing our power and using it for their own ends because they themselves do not have that power. That is why they have to use us and other species similar to us, because they don't have that power, you guys. And that's what we have to recognize. So when we take back our minds, we take back our power, we rob them of what they've been using all this time to have things unfold the way that they want. And this is a perfect example of why Archangel Michael said in a previous channeled video that I did, if you try to fight them physically, you're going to lose. And this is why, because that's not where our power is. Our power is in our consciousness and our minds. It's an infinite power because we are infinite beings. And this is one of the main reasons they do not want us entering into the extraterrestrial universe, the natural extraterrestrial universe, because they don't want us to wake up to who we really are and how powerful we really are. They want us to think that they are the only authority, they are all there is, and that's just the way life goes. So let me just show you real quickly how we can expand our ascension process and our power from here. Okay, so just to review, we're on this timeline. I think if you're listening to this video, you're most likely on this timeline already. So what you want to do is ask yourself, am I ready to expand my consciousness to this higher timeline? So you're going to be kind of like on both timelines simultaneously. And then you're adding energy, and you're adding energy to this whole area. These two timelines together, you have a lot more energy. And we are thus weakening this timeline, taking energy away from this AI takeover timeline, making it more possible for more people to come up, because those people who might be on the edge, it's going to be easier for them to come here because there's so much energy, there's so much magnetic energy up here in these higher timelines. So let me complete this by talking a little bit about how exactly can we start to enter the natural extraterrestrial universe. Well, the first thing we want to do is cut off the controllers as them having the authority over telling us anything at all about it. That's just over. And then we want to start to use what I always like to think of as our cosmic common sense, with trillions and trillions of galaxies and an untold number of stars and planets, knowing that those stars and planets are there to host a beautiful creation, a beautiful life, a massive cosmic ecosystem of amazing life, and understanding that, of course, we are a part of that. I mean, you only have to look at the beauty of this earth, of the natural earth, to recognize the amazing possibilities that are out there. So you want to start by shifting your consciousness. And this is something you can just do as you go through your life. Just contemplate the fact that you're on a planet, you're in space. See if you can get a visceral, physical experience of that. So it's not just conceptual. Yeah, well, I know I'm on a planet because I saw a picture of it somewhere. You want to try to get a physical, visceral experience of it, and a visceral experience of space and the stars. Because by doing this, you are automatically expanding your consciousness. And this is going to be a little bit different for everybody because we're all unique beings. And I just want to encourage you to just try to start thinking in this way, meditate on this, go out in nature and just contemplate The beauty you see in nature is being a part of a much larger cosmos of immense beauty. Because see, the power that we have with our minds is we can expand to the edges of the universe if we choose to do so. So it really comes down to your intention. Are you desiring in your heart to intend to shift your entire experience of life to being who you really are as an infinite being who lives in this universe, who is a part of this massive cosmic ecosystem of beautiful life and creation? And the more we stand in our power, the more we do this, we're going to leave these controllers like in the dust somewhere. And that is how we actually weaken them. We do not allow them to tap into our subconscious anymore and inadvertently have us co-create their dastardly reality that only serves to harm us and harm this beautiful planet. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with anyone else who you think would find this fascinating. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I am here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday with all new videos. And with that, I'm sending you so much love, light, and high vibrational energy, and I so look forward to seeing you in the next video. Namaste.